We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again.
What's happening?
You said what?
So what's happening?
Oh, there we go. There you go. You was muted for a minute.
My bad. Hey, I got a question for you though, man. With Black Friday and Cyber Monday, man, do you see any like must have? All this was a cool little lick kind of deal.
I did, but stuff I can't talk about on air.
Oh well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I definitely had my share of some interesting things, some interesting finds. But yeah, no. It was cool. What I thought was interesting this year, and I'm sure they've started it, but I saw it more this year was the Black Friday sales were gone for more of the week, and they were online. And I thought that was pretty dope. Obviously companies are trying to protect themselves. There were still fights. I seen a dude fight somebody over a TV, and then he lost the fight, so he stomped the TV. So there was still fights, but at the same time, they should have been, that was unnecessary because you could have just ordered everything online. Like people it still kills me that people have still got the kick out of getting out to actually physically shop. But
I love it though, bro. I'm one of them people, man. I'm very much
that's gonna fight.
Listen, I've never been in a position, and nor have I been put in a position where I've had to get aggressive with somebody over an item, right? But I think that I'm still one of those people who prefer to shop in person still. If I'm going to buy somebody something, I want to feel the material that it feels like. It's like I said, gift giving to me is a personal thing to me. So I look for those little details though for that though. And it's funny because some people like I'd rather not fool with the crowds, the hustle and bustle. But all that though, man, it's just one of those things. Like to me, trying to find the parking spot, the whole Olympics of driving through the parking, all that come with it to me though, bro. Yeah,
I get that. But again, companies are protecting themselves because of the fact that there were people losing their lives to Black Friday. So the fact that they now made it available for those people who don't want to go through all of the hassle and the hustle and the bustle, I'm glad that it's available because like I said, people were losing their lives over this stuff, and I think that's unfortunate. So it does take away at least. Go ahead.
No, let me tell you this though, man. Somebody did scrape my car up real good, my truck, man. I noticed it when I got home, man. Like somebody who was parked next to me at one of the spots must have drove off or backed out a little bit and scraped up into my stuff though, man. So that part I was kind of mad at, you know what I'm saying? But nah, overall though, man, I did some online shopping, but also, made it a point where I didn't want to go. Now I got out actually on both days. I got out on Black Friday, snatched up something for me, snatched up some stuff for the kiddo, and then did some shopping online. Went back out on that Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember what day, but I was out there in them streets, bro.
Yeah, I was out there too. I hit my spots. I was very strategic on where I went and hit the lick. You know what I'm saying? I went to those said spots and hit the lick. I even with the parking situation, there's a spot that I park at, or an area that I park in when I go to the outlet mall, and I went around everybody else and went over to that area, and look at God, there was a spot that was a dude was pulling out. So yeah, it was dope for me. Yeah,
hey, man,
well, man, look,
let's get to we got the laundry list. Yeah. Let's do it.
podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers podcast. The greatest podcast. If you smell. The Slash Brothers podcast. The greatest podcast of all time.
If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook pages. We are live on both platforms at the same time. You can click on the bell. That way you get the heads up whenever your boy's name is doing a thing. X Kennedy. Listen, man. I felt like nostalgic over the last couple of days ago, man. I had the homeboy PBR come through, man, and was recording some stuff though, man. And so it was cool just tracking him and everything like that, having him go through some of his stuff though, bro. Real dope time though, man. I just thought about that though. Just looked at a post on Facebook that he had. And reminded me how my dude came through and was ripping it on the mic real good. I'm happy that he's actually pursuing again, doing a project, man. So yeah. And he got that hunger though, bro. So yeah. Very happy to see it though, bro.
Yeah, that's what's up. I can't wait for you to send me something so I can check it out.
Yeah, I know I told you I was gonna do that already, but man, been all over the place though. Yeah. And let me ask you this though. This is one thing that I have been meaning to ask you about this. So there's been since we let off, there's been a things that's been happening, right? And one of the things that that happened that I don't know if it was controversial, how it happened, why it happened, or whatever, but sometime last week they had the American Music Awards, and Chris Brown was scheduled to perform on there. And as part of his performance on there, he was going to do a tribute to Michael Jackson, but somehow his stuff was unexplained, pulled from the AMAs, right? And I don't know that they've ever came back to comment on exactly why, but I thought it was kind of profound because I saw that Jermaine Dupri was like, yo, people who do black music, this is kind of, this might be something here though, man. We need to do something. And I saw that the game was like anybody who was who's doing anything hip hop should have declined the award, should have just said, no, we ain't rocking with that. But my question for you though, bro, is that do you feel some kind of way that Chris Brown was pulled from the AMAs?
Listen, if you asked him to do the show, then you knew what type of artist you were getting. But aside of that, you know what I'm saying? I saw said performance because he posted it on Instagram. It was fire. Probably one of the better routines I've seen in a while, like just with no tricks, no, just the pure dancing ability. It really, like, I'm very glad that they put it out anyway, because they worked hard, and for it to be pulled, I think that, I definitely think that it's unfortunate because it was a fire performance.
I saw the performance as well. I would have loved to have seen how it would have been perceived and taken on that such a grand stage. Yeah, it's a big stage. So when you talk about, I know that he showed the routine, but for it to be performed how it was intended to, I think that would have been kind of fire to see though. And not just that, I saw the AMAs and it wasn't like that popping. Like it was straight, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't that crazy anyway though, man.
Right. No, I'm with that, man. I think that they would have been fine. Like I said, it looks like they really worked on this routine. I don't understand what the miscommunication or whatever you want to call it was, because the show itself was incredible. Like, just to see, I haven't seen him get down like that in quite a while. You know what I'm saying? Like it really made me be like, all right, he would kill Omarion in the dance contest.
That's one thing about you.
And
You're a
you,
little dancing one. Ain't
yeah,
that
yeah.
what that what Mario said?
No, I'm
That's
just saying,
one
you
thing
know how
about you.
you already know
Not
how I feel about Omarion when it comes to dancing and performing and stuff. So I like I said, for me to then go and say that, then and the crazy part is Chris ain't just a dancer. Chris can sing and dance. So he killing Omarion right now. Omarion took 2 losses and he don't even know it.
yeah, big facts, bro. I think the thing that I've always been impressed with, I've been impressed. So this is another one of those things. Why, as much as I always bring up Beyonce, and I made no secret that I'm a huge B fan. I think that one of the things that I can appreciate the most about Beyonce is that she be up there dancing hard, but she be singing at the same time, and you don't lose out on the vocals when she's actually up there singing though, bro. So it ain't like, you know how you said some of the rappers will have they track and they just rap it over the dub. Like she has the performance version of it though, but them's her vocals on there though, man. So if they off, they just off that time. But I think that that's the one thing that's cool about Chris Brown's performance is that at least from a performance perspective though, right? He's singing and dancing. I've just seen that Omarion might sing or dance, and that's where I think that Chris Brown got the up on him on that, bro.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think that it's definitely one of those things that it just really showed how dope he was, you know what I'm saying, doing this thing. So like I said, shout out to him because the video looked dope. I just like the pure choreography. Like it wasn't any camera tricks or anything like that. Like it was a pure solid performance. So I thought that was dope.
Well, let me ask you this though. So the flip side of that, right? So just the other day, it was the Soul Train Awards. I have a question for you, an opinion that I don't want to just make like a hot topic or whatever though, man, or controversial. It ain't that. But listen, let me ask you this though, bro. Okay, so is it just me, right? So I've always thought that when it comes to the awards for black artists, right? That there are three primary awards that I thought that all black artists should show up to. And I think that the big thing is it's the BET Awards, the Trumpet Awards, and then also the Soul Train Awards. The Soul Train Awards is the oldest of them. Maybe the Trumpet Awards are or whatever, but what I've found though, bro, right, is that when I look into when they pan to the crowd on the Soul Train Awards, it seems like it's more like not even like the B list. It's like you don't even recognize a lot of the people that's in the crowds like that, right? That people you know are actors or celebrities, and it just feels like the Soul Train Awards. Like I thought that the Soul Train Awards should be looked at like with the kind of pageantry that the BET Awards have. I thought that it should be like in terms of equivalence. I thought it is like the BET Awards should be like the Oscars, and then I thought that the Soul Train Awards should be like the Grammys or vice versa, however you want to put them. But those two main big ceremonies, I thought that would be it. I mean, you could put Golden Globes up there as a third one or whatever, but I just thought that would be one of those ones that we show up for since it's one of those for us by us productions. But it's a Soul Train Wars though, bro. Still, like, do you think that it has that? Does it carry that kind of weight, the prestige of being a Soul Train Award winner?
No. I haven't seen anybody. I haven't seen anybody talk about it like that. Now, I do think that certain artists still hold it in high regard, and I do think that it should be. I'm not a. I do think it should be. I think we should actually put more stock in, like you said, those awards than we do even the other awards. The thing is, we have the power to make something prestigious or not. I mean, let's take it example of Champion, right? You and I remember in an era where Champion was sold in Payless, and now people are paying top dollar to wear Champion.
It's true.
And that's because of the kids.
Here's what this is what I'm wondering. This is where I'm gonna go. Okay. So here's why I think that it's crazy. So I almost, bro, had a problem. And I wanted to check the stats on this, right? So the oh my gosh, where were I going with this? Okay. So the big award winners were like the Lifetime Achievement Award winners, right? Were Escape and Morris Day and the Times, right? And I'm looking at this and I'm just sitting here thinking, like, are there better artists that could have gotten Lifetime Achievement Awards? Like I know Morris Day and the Time had like a couple of songs and everything, and I can understand that they may have had some kind of influence, and even to that matter, Escape. But I'm saying Lifetime, like I just thought that there are much more, like there are better qualified people to get these awards. Am I tripping? Like maybe I'm the one that's like, nah, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You selling them short.
You are selling them short. I think that, you know, more in the time is obviously gonna be connected to Prince, but it's almost that's what it is. And then Escape is one of those legacies. You know, I understand they tried to, you know, reform the group and record new music, and they're still touring and stuff like that. But at the same time, they do still fit in that category of an In Vogue or TLC. We need to celebrate them while we have the opportunity to do it while they're still present to enjoy that.
That's a good, okay. That's okay. Is Escape a bigger all-time group than In Vogue?
I think that's a generational question, because I still think In Vogue is a generation a little bit before Escape. So if you ask us, I think we would probably think that Escape was, but I still think In Vogue is one of those groups that pioneered the way for an Escape or even a TLC or whatever, or what have you. So I think that's a personal question. So I
the reason
think
why I asked,
because of
In Vogue had, okay,
I
so
think because of the childhood.
No, go ahead, because I think that the Wi-Fi is cutting us off and running through each other. But go ahead, though. Go ahead.
I think that for us, the way our childhood played out and how we viewed music, Escape was probably more important to us than In Vogue. That doesn't mean In Vogue wasn't influential for our childhood, but I think that we gravitated more to Total and Escape for our generation. That was kind of our music at the time.
See, this is the okay. So the award that they got was the Lady of Soul Award, bro. And I guess I almost have an issue, bro. I just don't personally. I guess I just didn't think of Escape as okay. So let's talk about this. These are some of the people who have won the Lady of Soul Awards. Hold on. So Monica has received it. Ashanti received it. Beyonce's received it. Mary J's received it. Faith Evans, Jill Scott, Brandy, Yolanda Adams has received it. And I'm just looking at that and I'm just like, I don't really see Escape on that level. And if you give that to Escape, then then to me, I think that bar, to me, this is just crazy. I think the same with Morris Day and the Time. When you give them the award, then to me, it's almost like you're lowering the bar. And to me, you're kind of devaluing it because they are good all-time artists. Not that they're good artists within their own right, but I just thought that that's almost like a Lifetime Achievement Award that you do want to give to somebody while they're alive. But I just think that really, like them two, like, I just think that there were other people that you could give it to.
Okay, so who would you have given it to?
Oh my gosh. So here's the thing though, bro. Like if you give it to Escape, I don't know who else. I don't know who else you can give it to. But the thing about this, right? I think that also SWV has received it. And to me, with all things considered, SWV, numbers wise, right, had 2 successful albums, and they've always had the influence. And that's what I'm just wondering. So I think that in terms of them, so you go SW, if you give it to them, now you pretty much have to give it to Total as well, right? At some point. Because Total, SWV, Escape were the TLC also has to get it. Like, I don't know how you give that to Escape without also giving that to Destiny's Child. Like, I know Beyonce's gotten several awards. Beyonce is the most nominated artist, I think, ever for Soul Trains. But I'm just sitting here thinking, like, to give them that Lifetime Achievement Award off of 2 hot albums, that just seems like the bar, like that should be a much higher bar to me. That's all I'm saying. And even with Morris Day and them at the time, though, Morris Day and the Times, they had like 3-4 songs max, right? So I'm just sitting here thinking, like, all right, you know what? In terms of R&B group, if you give Morris Day and the Time, there is no doubt in my mind that you got to give Jodeci the award. And maybe I don't know if Jodeci didn't already have the award, but if they got it, you got to give Jodeci the award as well, though, bro. 112, you got to give 112 the award. Jagged Edge, you got to give Jagged Edge the award. Like, if you give it to Morris Day and the Times, there just are other artists that I think were bigger artists than them that are still alive and well, that I think that are just as that is warranted as well, though, right? I just think that it just seemed like, to me, I'm happy for them that they got it, that they were able to get their flowers while they're all here. But I just think that the bar was just lowered when they did that, bro.
Understood. Let me ask you this. So I did see that Tank and Jay Valentine performed at the Soul Train Awards. I have not had a chance to check it out, but I can't wait to get on that because I didn't get the notification, and I'm disappointed because I know you got the notification and you ain't even tell me about it. That's kind of crazy, bro. Thought we was better.
I thought you just knew. Yeah, I thought you just knew.
Didn't. That one creeped by me, bro.
Listen, man, I don't know, man. I thought that you just, that was one. I thought, if anything, that you would be telling me about that anyway.
Nah, I get that. That makes sense.
Now, I'm just sitting here. I'm tripping, bro. You gonna have me go back through these previous award winners, man, for their categories. I'm just like, it just, oh my gosh, man. Yo, speaking of so let me ask you this. Sticking on music though, right? This is one that I was just tripped out. Bruh. So like last week, bro, they said that there was this thing where Latto had like 130 unreleased songs that were just leaked, right? Like, this is like almost like somebody just had a hard drive, dumped the hard drive somehow or whatever, though, man, that it was out there. But here's my thing, though, bro. Like, there's so many different layers to this, right? Because part of this almost were songs where so I think that when it comes to female rappers in particular, right, there's always been this stigma about female rappers and writing their own raps, right? And I think that goes back from I don't think there's been any female. The only female rapper the only female rapper that I know of that hasn't been accused of somebody writing their raps, to me that I can think of. The only one I can think of is Eve, right? Eve.
Okay.
What other female rapper can you think of that? And maybe it's the rapper in me, but Eve is the only one that I can think of that nobody's ever accused and said, "Oh, you know what? Dragon is writing her raps, or Styles P is writing her raps." But I thought they've had the rumor that
Missy.
Foxy had Jay. Well, Missy is a category of her own, though, right? But Lil Kim, there was a rumor about Big, right? Even Trina, people try to say that Trick Daddy did some stuff with her earlier on. Nicki Minaj, there was a thing about, you know what I'm saying, Safari writing some of her stuff, though, right? Cardi B has had writers on her project that's been acknowledged. And so this is interesting because Latto actually appears as if she has versions of songs that looks like they were the originals of those, but then there's also parts where she has some other people like on her tracks, like saying the exact same thing. So it's like it looks like Latto is a ghostwriter, but it looks like she also uses writers, and it just calls into question again, all over again, the authenticity of female rappers, though, bro. Like, maybe that was my takeaway from it. Like, what do you think about the leakage yourself?
I thought the leak was just terrible. Anybody that anybody's creative work and release it without authorization, that should be considered a step. Uh, Me being an artist myself, I would hate for somebody to leak something of mine that I gave you the privilege of allowing you to hear it prior to it being released. So I think anybody who does that, like I said, should be held accountable. At the same token, you and I know how music works when it comes to, now I get it. You write 100% of your raps and you write 100% of your hooks, right? But at the same token, and I know this is different. I know it's different, but for R&B, right? You will send me uh ideas uh of how you want a song that you wrote when you wrote the second verse or the first verse for a song that we're working on together, and you will send me your demoed version of it. That type of
Yeah.
stuff happens all the time. I mean, obviously that's why the whole Drake thing came into question, and so that it's just like I said, I personally don't think that consumer cares about that anymore as much as the authentic artist thinks that's important.
Yeah, I agree. Here's the part that I felt the worst for her on as an artist, right? Is I'd hate for somebody to hear songs that I'm working on, or like I'm fine with you hearing the songs, but hear the polished version of it. Don't hear the rough, right? Hear the final product. That's the only thing I
But
think.
do you know where the
Yeah, go ahead.
do you know where all of this kind of stemmed from though? Before the leak, right? She had played us. She was out at the pool or a hot tub or something, and she was playing an unreleased song, and she was like, "Y'all gonna make me regret throwing these songs away." And then that's when people knew that there was other things, and then the leak happened.
Well, I thought that it was funny. She had the her version of the Bia. It's a whole lot of money around it. I was like, yo, and I thought that was the only song that I've heard from her. But it's one of those things, though, right? Where it sounds like that song had writers that sent the track to Lotto to record so that Bi would be able to hear how it's supposed to go, right? Like it would almost be like if I sent you a track and I wrote a hook that was R&B, you sing it on the demo version, but I got somebody else to sing the final version, and people heard the version with you on it, right? It's like that though, man. But I don't know, man. I think the part that's just it's mind blowing to me still, though, bro. Like it does make me question. See, for me, I don't think that the average fan, right, listens to Cardi B and think, did you write these raps? You know what I'm saying? Like, or
Right.
Lotto for that matter. And that's like, maybe I think that it's not as important for female rappers. I do feel like that level of authenticity is still there, even though Snoop Dogg has came out and said, no, I got writers. I got people who help me do songs because they can see what I don't see. Right? They can hear me doing something that I just don't. And so for that reason, it's all about making the best song. But but I'll tell you though, man, I'm more impressed though, man, by somebody, me personally. I do hold somebody in a higher regards who wrote them dope melodies as a rapper, even though you might sing and do the melodic style, I hold that in a very high regard that you could do it. To me, it shows the what makes that special, right? It makes it seem like this is why you are him, right? This is why you're special, right? Because you can write them lines, write all those words, and you can still use that melody. I think that's what to me, without that though, man, you might as well it's just a free for all at that point though, bro.
I mean, I get it. I just think that, you know, I think as an artist, it is cool to know if somebody personally wrote, especially when it's a bar that you really, really enjoy, and it's like, oh yeah, he wrote that, and I get it. But like I said, the consumer don't care, and so that's where I'm just like, who cares?
Listen, man. So if I like, so this is what's crazy. If so, so this is what's funny. Okay, so let me tell you this. So one of my favorite Jay-Z raps, right? One of my favorite Jay-Z raps is when he said on on the Blueprint 2. He has one of the first songs on there is The Watchers Part 2. And he says, things just ain't the same for gangsters. Well, I'm a little too famous to shoot these pranksters. All of these rap singers claiming they bangers, doing all sorts of twisted stuff with your fingers, disrespecting the game, no home training the manners. I was doing this just when you was in the Pampers. And then he said, listen, what I thought was dope about it, he said, I was moving them grams for you knew what a hand-to-hand was, ducking the vans, radar scanners. And the thing that I thought was incredible about it was the rhyme scheme, right? And the wordplay of the rhyme scheme. But if you told me that just some dude wrote that for Jay because they said, hey, man, I thought you would sound good saying this, though, bro, it would just hurt my heart, bro. It would hurt my heart too much. And I would never be able to look at Jay-Z the same if I knew that my favorite Jay-Z raps was written by somebody else, bro.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's still the delivery, though.
I get it. I totally understand that ghostwriting is good. To me, I think that ghostwriting is good for people who are just artists, right? You're not necessarily a rap. So like Diddy, I would never believe that Diddy writes any of his raps, right? But I don't think that's it. I just assume anything that comes out of his mouth, somebody wrote it for him. That makes sense to me. So from that point, I think that it's a perfect space for a ghostwriter. Even somebody like Jermaine Dupri. I think Jermaine Dupri has wrote so many hit records for somebody else, and if he's rapping, I wouldn't even look at him like it takes anything away from his greatness, though, bro. But I just think that if you're a rapper, part of you building to your greatness is the authenticity of not even just the authenticity of you living what you said, but if you wrote it, like that is enough for me, though, bro. That you wrote something that was so creative and so hard, bro. Like, yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yo, speaking of artists, bro, did you see that the trial has started for Meg and Tory Lanez?
I did see that, bro. I am very I'm watching because I do want to see what's gonna happen out of it, though, man. it's gonna be an interesting. I want to know, right? What exactly is gonna come out of it though? Like what? So like,
Man,
if
he's facing up to 12 to 23 years.
Mm, mm, I don't know,
It's a
bro.
lot of
I am
time.
watching it though, man. Yeah, that's a lot of time, bro. It is a lot of time. I don't know. I don't know, bro. But I am watching because then what if it was somewhere if it's just split down the middle and they just said we can't really tell what's up though, man. Does Meg just go on about her way? Does it drop then at that point? Like I don't know what happens after that though, man.
I mean, you would think they would just come up with a settlement and be done with it. That way he don't get no jail time.
Settle for that. Like but if she says you shot me, right? Like I don't know how you settle with that.
I don't know, but what she also had at one point, right? She had a point to say that she didn't want to see another black man go to jail. So if she still has some sort of compassion, she could be like, nah, look, we'll sign an NDA. We can never speak about the incident. And or maybe that's part of her term that he has to come out and say, no, I did do this. And he has to pay some. I don't know. I'm just saying it could be a possibility. She could get to a point where it's like, look, I'm tired of going to court. I just want to move forward and let's settle it outside of court.
Wait a minute. So I'm looking at the homeboy Mark. He said, how y'all feel about an artist hearing a song, taking it or the flow of it and coming out with it themselves, or before you drop your own version? My Dougie. I don't know about that. I don't know if I follow you. I know the Halle Berry.
Oh,
I don't know.
I'll
I don't know
explain.
that. I don't know the story behind that one. Part like a.
So okay. So Drum had this beef with Drake because Drake took something and released his version of it and didn't give credit to him, and so more people gravitated to the Drake version, and then actually Drake's security beat him up because he tried to press him about it. And so that's the thing where Drama's like, I can't, there's no way I can get to Aubrey. Like, there's not a chance. Like, he is surrounded by too many people. But yeah, it would, if it was up to me, it would be on site for him taking my song or my idea and then using it for himself or dropping it before I do.
So, okay. So, I've heard that Logic has been accused of that several times. Like, there's been a few times where I think that, like, people have said that they've been having conversations about music with Logic. Like, I think that Joyner Lucas basically said that he had a song that was about mental health and suicide prevention. And then Logic goes and drop a similar song just like a month after they had the conversation. It's probably been Logic's biggest song, basically. But I've heard that a couple of times over by him. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I would feel tight if I had a conversation with somebody, right? And if I was telling you about a song, or I let you hear a song, and I told you this idea, and you went and did that version, you did your own version of that same song, right? That part, I'd be hella tight about that. What I wouldn't be tight about, right? Not completely tight about it now, but like my Dougie, right? So I'm talking about my Dougie. So like us, I know the Texas version, my Dougie. She says she like my Dougie, but most people only know Teach Me How to Dougie. Teach Me How to Dougie. All the girls love me. That's the one that most people know nationwide outside of. So it's like, I know that they give credit in the song where they say it's a dance that we learned from, he said it's a dance that we learned from Dallas, too quick or too fast or whatever. But they give the prop. But I don't know, bro. Like, it would be like, it would almost be like if I came out with my song Talking About, right? And then Drake came out with a song called Talking About that's very similar to my song. except that his is bigger. I feel real tight about that, man. I would be mad. You know what, bro?
Mhm.
More than anything, I would be, if I ever saw anybody I personally knew playing Drake's version of my song, bro, I would never talk to them again, bro. Like you would never be able to explain to me why, unless I was getting paid off of that Drake song. But you would never be able to explain to me why you banging Drake's version of my song and not my own version, bro.
I feel that, and I think that's where most artists are at with it as well, especially with how small the industry is and how, I mean, we don't even understand the amount of stuff, how it's like, okay, I've heard, you know, Nikki say she's turned down certain features, and then Cardi
got
have them or
on
something
them.
like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
how much, yeah, it's how much music moves around, is how many people have heard these songs prior to, or these hits, like you know, that have been floating around 2 years before the mainstream got a hold of it. So it's music, it's the music business, bro.
Yeah, I just think like even Party Like a Rock Star, I think that I think Green City had that's kind of, they used that as one of their songs, their big song that kind of got them that big attention, man. But I do remember my Dougie, that was right. I'm looking at the comments from Mark, that Lil Will, that was the my Dougie that I knew. But I didn't know that Halle Berry originated from a clean artist. I that part I didn't know, but I don't have a problem, to be honest with you, with like Green City doing their version of Party Like a Rock Star, because to me, I think that I look at that almost like it's a mixtape flip, right? So like a lot of times I remember back in the day, you would have a lot of people who would do regular on somebody else's beat, and then basically flip some of the words to make it their own. I don't have any problem with that. I guess what I would have a problem with is if you well, I'm not going to even say I would have a problem with it. You would have to make it clear that you are flipping the words for a particular thing. But if you did a whole song that was like Party Like a Rock Star on a whole different beat, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Now I think about it. And I'm saying that now that I'm thinking about it, because I got a part of a song that I'm getting ready to record where I know that it's a spin off of a 2 Chainz song, right? But it's purposely that way so that you know
Right,
it's not
but the
like I'm
2
trying
Chainz
to
song
claim.
is probably out there, right?
It's an old 2 Chainz song, old 2 Chainz song.
So that's different.
Yeah, it's an old 2 Chainz song, but when you hear the part, you know the reference, right? I make it so clear that way so that it's clear that I'm not trying to claim it as my own. That's what it is. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that though, man. I got mixed feelings about it.
So let me ask you this. This week is the last week that the Breakfast Club will be as we know it. Do you think they should add another female host, or do you think just DJ Envy and Charlemagne should just ride with it like that? Like, what do you think they should, or have a rotating host? Like, what do you think?
I think I like the idea of having a rotating host. I got to be honest, maybe, and I don't. I think that for them, I thought that she did add a different dynamic from them, but I don't think that she was the dominant personality. I thought that because I think that she wasn't the dominant personality, I thought that was the balance that they need. But I think that because it wasn't that dominant, I think that they have the fan base now, right? They got the pulse of the culture. So I think that you can add somebody else, and I think that it still at this point keeps moving. I think that it would be a whole different show, for example, if Charlemagne the God wasn't there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or even DJ Envy,
like,
right? If DJ Envy, they're different.
I think looking at like Everyday Struggle, right? When Joe left, the show didn't really last. Like it did well with Wayno, but with Star there, it was a whole different dynamic.
Yeah. I do like that. That's a perfect example of it. To me, I was to me, it's like okay, I'm watching. I'm struggle to be quite honest with you because I am more interested in how the dynamics and how opposite that Joe and Ack were, right? And this is funny. I had never even heard of academics until then, right? So this is my first time, and just seeing this dynamic of this dude who's of the young generation and somebody who's an older generation for hip hop in particular. I think that their different experiences with music was the dynamic, but I think that it would be like if you swap out Nadeska, I think that it doesn't change the show. But I think that you swap out Joe and his personality, it makes for a whole different thing.
Yeah.
It becomes something different.
Do you still watch the Joe Budden podcast now that Ish and Ice are there?
Not any more or less than I did before. I'm a fan of the show, but I'm not diehard like that. Not where I lock in every single episode. I try to catch it as often as I can, but to be honest with you, I don't try to catch any more or less now that Rory and Maul are no longer there. It's about the same for me. But it's different though, right? Because I don't think that they were the A personalities on there either. So I don't think that the show, it doesn't seem when now, it doesn't seem that different though, right before. But I do like Rory and Maul on their own. I think that crazy is I think personality and his takes are so much heavier than them to where I think that they shine better without him, to me personally.
That makes sense. Yo, did you finish watching Andor?
I hope I did. And when I say I hope I did, bro, I think that I watched this episode and I'm hoping it wasn't the last episode because if it is, I'd be disappointed, bro. It feels like it is. I saw one of the dudes who was talking and he said something and then it just cuts off and goes black. I can't even remember what he said, but he was just talking about almost like alluding to this next thing to come, almost like he's setting up for a season, whatever it is, bro. I can't even remember what I'm saying. Like it was so unmemorable, bro, that I just still don't even remember. Like if that was the last, I gotta go back and tell you. But if that was the last episode, I'd be pissed at how that ended then, bro.
There's 12 episodes, and the last thing that happened was basically Cassie and Andor told oh boy, like, look, you either kill me or you take me with you. That was how it ended. And then they showed the Death Star being put together.
So I got to go back then because I saw when they got out of the when they broke out of the jail, right? I thought it was crazy though that old boy couldn't swim. I think that may have been the last episode that I saw.
Yeah, that's
like
not
it was
the
losing
last
me
episode.
though, bro. It was losing me. Like I literally, bro. Like I literally was starting to just not be as interested, bro. It was just losing me.
I figured something like this would lose you because it ain't got enough action for you. And
No.
this is probably one of the best Star Wars shows that's out.
Oh my gosh, no. There's no listen. There hasn't been any fighting in about 5 episodes now, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, man, no. I gotta
So
go
they didn't
back
fight
and
to
see.
get out of the jail?
But that was regular. I mean, they were shooting to get out of that one though, and even that one, it wasn't like nothing like that. Like, and here's the thing about it. Maybe it's just me though, bro. But since I've been losing it, there hasn't been any moment on Andor where I was like, dang, it's just been like cool. It's been kind of, I'm gonna be honest, it's been kind of mid to me, bro.
All right, well, let me ask you this: Did Walking Dead at least meet your expectations since it's finally over?
Yes, it did. It did. I'm gonna tell you that it met my expectations only because it at least get. So the one thing that was surprising to me was that somebody on the last episode got bit, but I like that she was like, all right, I think that this is the last episode, so I don't even want there to be a possibility of me moving on to any other ones. I think that it's a good way to send me on off, and I thought it was cool. I'm sure they're not gonna let her turn to a vampire. She didn't want to. She got bit on her shoulder, so they couldn't chop her limb off and everything. So I thought that she was just like, yeah, just go ahead and just eventually kill me. So that I thought it was dope, and I thought that it sets up for the spinoffs perfectly too. Because Negan finally apologized to I don't know how you just apologize for killing your husband the way you did, but he apologized. They show you how things go with Michonne and Rick. It's yeah. So it ends Walking Dead, but it's still almost like, oh no, we just getting started with the overall Walking Dead universe, though, bro. Listen, you know what's good that I started watching earlier this week. I'm on like episode 3. You probably told me about this, but the damn Pennyworth.
Nah, I never saw it.
Oh my gosh, bro. Okay, so listen. So Pennyworth is, I thought you would have seen. I didn't even know, right? I didn't even know that apparently it's multiple seasons. I thought this was just only one. I guess it's 3 seasons now. But peep this though, man. Pennyworth is based on Alfred from Batman. This is before he meets Thomas Wayne. And so, the whole time I'm thinking Alfred is just this, old butler, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But now, man, you see this boy Alfred that been in the army before, though, man. That boy used to be a killer, bro, and he was cold. And so I've been sitting, never dove into any of the Batman or comics to even want to know that much, right? But dog, I was sitting here watching it pretty good. It's been like I've been more interested in that, and it filled the void perfectly, though, bro, because Walking Dead's gone off. Everything, I've been in this little lull where I don't have very much. Start watching that though, man. Dope show, bro. Real dope show.
No, I understand that. I heard about Pennyworth. I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard people didn't like it. So that's interesting to hear that you do like it. So yeah.
Yeah. I started watching it. I started watching it when I was at the gym. And I'm sitting here watching it, and I knew that it was good because I almost stopped my workout just to watch it for a few minutes, though, bro. I was like, wait a minute. Yo, cold. Yeah.
Nah, glad you're enjoying it.
It's, what I like about it, bro, is that it doesn't feel comic booky, but at the same time, it feels period specific at the same time. So that's why it's right up my alley, bro. It's pretty dope.
That's fire. Well, bro, what you got for the rest of the week?
Well, listen, I got to ask you this before we get out of here. What we doing about Jerry Jones, bro? Are we letting him ride? They report, the big thing that came out last week was this picture that surfaced of a young 14, 15-year-old Jerry Jones. And he's in this crowd where back in Arkansas, they were looking to desegregate these schools, and he was there as part of this crowd. Now it's a picture, so you can't really tell intent. He ain't just yelling, he's just there, right? But this was 65 years ago, right? Are we letting this Are we letting him ride? Like, what are we doing with Jerry Jones, bro?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
No. I mean, the thing is that what do we expect that was happening back in the day? And the thing is that you 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 do better when you know better, and so he knows better now. The thing is, he still ain't doing stuff like that. I mean, I understand the comparisons people have had about him saying his players weren't going to be allowed to kneel and all that other stuff. But again, that's you already know that. I would much rather see him in that picture than to see what old boy was doing with the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? Because here's why I say that. Neither one of them are good, but he was 14 years old in that picture,
Okay.
whereas old dude was a grown man still having feelings like that. So
Yeah.
that for me, like I said, he is employing. There's a whole bunch of black men under him now that have generational wealth because they are playing for him. And I know people comparisons even about the owners to players as far as like being slave owned. I get all of that, but nah, we ain't doing nothing about it.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this, bro. Um, you and I go way back. I've known you since I was 14 years old, probably 13 years old, actually, 13 years old. And this happened to this man when he was 14, right? What kind of Ace Kennedy would the world be getting if they were judging you today off of the things that you did at 14?
Straight man whore.
Yo, when I thought about that at 14, I immediately was thinking like, so people were on Stephen A. Smith, real heavy because he said he don't deserve this. And I'm gonna be honest, to dig up something from 65 years ago, down 14 years for us was like, what's that, 24 years ago, 28 years ago, or whatever it was. It's like, bro, that was just right around that I still that we're closer to 14, right? And I remember what 14 was like. So to judge me by something that I was doing at 14, oh man,
Yeah,
it's tough, bro.
it's tough, but at the same time, people, this is the thing. We are nobody is perfect. And in everybody's past, there are things that you wish you didn't do or things that you grew from. And I don't have a heaven or hell to put anybody in. And people are allowed to feel the way that they want to feel. But to judge somebody at what they did at 14, nah, I'm just like, no, that man was a kid. And my 14-year-olds do stuff now that I wish that they wouldn't do, and I'm sure that they would grow from it. So no, I'm not holding that man accountable for that. And at the same time, he was also living in the times that he was living in. There were things that we did. We talked about it. There are phrases and words that we're no longer allowed to say that we said freely when we was 14 that are not okay anymore. We've learned from that, and so we don't do those things. So I'm gonna give him the same grace and say that man did that at 14. He's what, almost 80 or is 80 some years old.
And this was 1957, right? So this is the thing about that. So this is before the civil rights time. Like this is before the assassination of Martin Luther King. This was before the assassination of JFK. This was before a lot of stuff where I think that the norms were different. Like, listen, I'm not gonna say it wasn't nothing, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to crucify him either, though, bro. I'm not gonna say I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm closer to it being not a big deal, but I'm not gonna say it's not nothing either.
It isn't not a nothing thing. It's not. But at the same token, I'm also taking into account the times and also what he's doing now, right? If they showed something from the past and then it still mirrored what was going on now, okay, then I could say something. But if that was the case, he would have all white players on the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but there's not all white players in the NFL though.
Facts.
Hey, but listen, he's had all white coaches.
Okay.
Didn't Jerry Jones? I thought Jerry Jones had a black coach before.
I don't remember it, but I mean, I'm not like an avid know the history of the Dallas Cowboys either. So,
oh my gosh, I don't know, bro. But I do think that it's listen, I'm not gonna lie. He doesn't have to say anything. But listen, it would go a long way for him to explain, because I thought that he said that he was just curious, see what was going on, right? And I'm thinking, like, listen, all right, bro, like, yeah, he said, yeah, that's what he said. He said he was a curious kid back then, though. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, okay, I agree that you could have been curious, but curious to that time, right? Curious about what was going on. Like, that's what I'm just tripped out on. Like, I don't think that you're the same person that you are at 14, but at the same time, I do believe, though, that a lot of those things that you start to learn and things that you were taught when you are 14, those are some of those things that can go a long way with you. And then you make the decision as an adult of right from wrong and how to apply the things that you grew up in, though. But I think that people are thinking that people are putting it out there as if, this is who Jerry Jones is at his core right now. And I don't think that that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, man, what you got going on for the rest of the week, though, bro?
I am trying to finish up this song this week. I have a very, very tight deadline, so I'm trying to get that done. And then, other than that, still just making preparations for the end of the month.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? I'm actually I'm remixing some songs now. Some of them didn't quite pass the car test, so I'm trying to go through and tighten up some mixes on that one. And then, of course, I got my birthday coming on up next week. So I'm trying to get on now and do a little bit of partying and get together probably sometime this weekend. So I'm going to be prepping for that. Other than that, though, man, I'm kicking it and chilling.
That's what's up. All right, bro.
Hey, look like that Wi-Fi finally came through at the end of the pod, too. That's whack.
Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?